So to make the story short, he went to the interview and he got the job. And he never went on the trip with his friends to Thailand. He worked at the company for whatever amount of time, like 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And now, because he took that job, he was able to do something else, which led to something else. And now he lives in Thailand.
Welcome to the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I am Jessica Johnson Coe.
I'm Waleed.
Hey Waleed, what's good?
Chilling. What's good with you?
Listen, this sister, now brother, we tired. We've been hustling for the past 5 months and then some. And sometimes there's talk that entrepreneurs shouldn't slow down, that they shouldn't take time off because they're supposed to grind 24/7. My dearly departed grandmother, Dorothy C. Johnson, used to say, don't nothing work 24 hours a day but a maggot.
First of all, a maggot don't even work 24 hours a day. That insect has to sleep sooner or later. But I get what they're saying.
You look like you need to sleep now.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm done. As my man Taiwan would say, I'm baked.
So in this episode, we're gonna hit it and then quit it as we discuss taking a break. It's break time. It's break time. That even the best entrepreneurs need to occasionally rest. Like even the good Lord rested. I was talking to a cousin the other day.
Is the Lord an entrepreneur?
Yes. He's the owner of 1,000 cattle.
He's like the ultimate Sim City.
He has a mansion with 1,000 rooms, something like that.
I don't know.
Anyway, I was talking to a cousin the other day, and she was saying that she's been through some things, and she was very tired, and she didn't want to sleep because she's a caregiver for her granddaughter, and she said her granddaughter, who's 9, is very wise and extremely funny. Witty beyond her age. She said, Grandma, everybody needs to rest. So in this episode, we are going to talk about the benefits of rest for entrepreneurs and how you can rest and yet return to your business stronger than ever and make a greater impact than if you were running on 100.
Running on what?
Running
100 nonstop.
At 100 nonstop.
Oh, okay.
So, Cope, talk to the people in Commerce and Chill Land about your impressions of taking breaks.
Okay, first of all, I think that culture, and we had a team member, he would always brag about, like, I'm part of the hashtag No Sleep Club. I was up all night. Cope, we were doing this, we were doing that.
You're doing coke.
No, he'd be like, Cope, I was up. Oh my God, if you're doing coke, you might be up all night.
Yeah.
Isn't it a stimulant? So he subscribed to that and thought it was like super cute. Show up at the store and just be mad tired because he was like, yeah, I was up last night because I don't know what kind of side hustle or business he was building, but I think that mindset and that culture that it's prevalent on social media is, as my dad would say, the stupidest thing I've seen in my entire life. Because one, listen, there's some study, and like I challenge you to look at it, look it up. I don't know, we'll put it in the link in the notes. There's a study that's about sleep deprivation. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
And basically, after you start getting
less than 5 hours,
whatever the number is, it's the equivalent of being drunk. So it's the equivalent of drinking X amount of alcohol, and the less, your blood. It's the equivalent of a blood. I think it's like blood alcohol content of whatever.
But like legally under the influence,
right? So if you're getting less and less sleep, and let's think about this: when you get less sleep, one, you agitated, you grumpy, your skills is not as sharp, you're not on point, and you talking about building a business and you ain't sleeping. Like, bro, what like? How ignorant is that? Like, your brain is not sharp. The brain is the biggest tool you're going to need if you're talking about you growing a business or you're growing your side hustle. So now your decision-making factors a skewing down hard. Like, and people say, oh, whatever, Wally, you just saying. I've been there. Prior to JSB running the store, we had three laundromats. We were short staff and then didn't rehire. Ran one store for little over a year. Store opened Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. The store had to be open and ready for business, not showing up at 7. The store had to be open and ready at 7. And then the store closed at, last wash was, I think, 8. Store closed at 9:30. And then that doesn't include cleanup on all that time, which happens between 8 and 9:30. So on average, I'm getting out the store, if I'm lucky, 9:45. If I'm hustling and the store is not crowded, after I clean and do everything. And they got to be back the next day at 7 a.m. And then on the weekends, the store opened up.
Be back and open at 7 a.m.
Right, got to be back and open by 7 a.m. So I'm leaving, let's say 10 o'clock, go home, thank God I didn't live that far from the store, get rest, and then be back at the store at 7. So at a minimum, I had to be up and ready. I had to be up at like 5:45 and be ready, travel time, and be and have the store open. I got to be the latest at the store at 6:45, 6:50, because it take at least 10 minutes to prep the store, right, on a good day. So, and then on the weekends, the store opens at 6 a.m. So that's one less hour of sleep I'm getting on the weekend.
And that's one other reason why we don't have a laundromat with machines anymore. One of the things that I discussed at the beginning of this year, I don't know if Cope was necessarily an advocate of this, but I want us to normalize taking 1 week away from the business every month. 1 week away from the business every month.
1 week?
1 week.
She's saying don't go to work for a week every month?
I'm not saying don't go to work. I'm just saying away from the business. Now, that can be a number of different things. That can be vacation. That could be conferences. That could be retreat. That could be, coaching, leadership development, something. But just away from the day-to-day of the business so that you're not grinding all day, every day.
Okay.
Is that something that you can aspire to?
I'm thinking of something a little more radical, but I'll stick with that for now.
Okay. Well, even though work-life balance is encouraged, I don't know what work-life balance looks like. Many entrepreneurs and business owners are afraid to step away from their business and take any vacation at all during the year.
Why?
Well, we know some others.
Why? Because no one else can do it better than me. No one knows it at my business. And this is under the pretense of you have more than one team member at your business. We're not talking about, even if you're a solopreneur, there's a way to do it.
Solopreneurs that are like, I can't trust anybody. I have trust issues. I can't trust anybody.
Well, then you need to get over your issues. You need to go to an issueologist and have a discussion with them, because your issues are limiting your business, because there is someone that you can trust. Like, and why do people have to earn your trust versus you just giving trust? See, and that's a mistake a lot of people make, whether it's in business, in friendships, etc. They want to meet people and say that person has to earn my trust, versus you give your trust. And then over time, if they do something that takes away from it, then you'll be like, okay, well, I can't trust them with money, but I could trust them with cantaloupes because they don't like them. So I know they're not going to eat my cantaloupes.
Here are 4 key reasons why business owners and entrepreneurs should take time off away from their business at some point during the year. Number 1 is to reboot your mind. What's that look like?
Nothing. I'm just listening to your list. Go ahead. Reboot.
Number 2 is to rest your body. Number 3 is to plan for the future while you enjoy the present. And number 4 is to give your staff and your business room to shine. Why are you laughing?
Because first of all, you read that list like you just Googled it, bro. Like it sounded so. Hi, I'm Jessica Johnson, and I'm reporting from Commerce and Chill Nightly News. Let me give you what the 4 top things are. Okay, so those are the 4 things.
So do you not agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Reboot, rest, plan, and give.
Right. Your brain needs time off. I probably wouldn't say reboot. Your brain needs time off.
Your brain is a computer.
You need to unplug.
Just
the
same way that you tell everybody here in the office that they need to log off and shut down their computers.
Yeah, and that message still has not hit home for at least 50% of the staff in the office, because our iMacs will run all night, and then they shorten the life of them, and then guess who's got to buy new ones? Her. So yeah, you need to unplug. You need to rest your mind. You need to rest your body. Is what you said for number 2. You said 3. Plan for future. Well, yeah, plan for future events and enjoy the present. Okay, I'm gonna tie that into number 1. Like you just need to decompress.
I mean, didn't you say it in the last episode? You can't see the picture while you're in the frame.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with it.
Okay.
I'm just loving the way you read it, and it was straight like, Siri, tell me what are the top 4 things someone should do. It was the way you read it. It's nothing wrong with them. I agree with them. You need to do it, but I think you need to be. But you need to be strategic in when you do it too. Mm-hmm. You can't be all willy nilly. Damn, I can't remember my man's name right now. Posted on LinkedIn the other day. Perfect example of knowing when to say I'm shutting it down and when to say, no, I better not, and do something else instead, right? And 2, don't get it twisted. People be like, oh, I get it from some of my family members all the time. Wally, you need to take a break. You need to do blah, blah, blah. But look, I hear from my brother all the time. I'm like, bro, you don't like business. I do. I like going to a conference. I like going to meetings and interact. I do not like when my clients are yelling at me because something we didn't do right. But like spurring new ideas and coming up with creative things, I enjoy that part of business. So even if someone's like, oh, we're unplugging, but we're going to unplug and talk about the creative side of it or how we're going to plan this next thing, like I get joy out of that. So to me, that's not work. It's not stressful. But I can't remember my man's name, and he posted on LinkedIn yesterday. And he talks about how he planned a trip to Thailand with his friends. And he got a call for a job interview for the day they were supposed to leave for the trip. So he had to either go to the job interview, cancel the trip, or cancel the interview and go on the trip. And he states he really wanted this job. So he had to make a decision of one or the other. He decided to cancel the trip and go on the interview. Now, some people probably be like, oh, he's stupid. But what I say, you need to break. I'm not saying don't take the break, but you need to understand how to balance it. So to make the story short, he went to the interview and he got the job. And he never went on a trip with his friends to Thailand. He worked at the company for whatever amount of time, like 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And now, because he took that job, he was able to do something else, which led to something else. And now he lives in Thailand. So if he would have went on a trip instead of taking the job, he would have experienced that moment of where he really wanted to go for that short amount of time. But he decided to say, I'm not going to go on a trip and I'm going to go to this job interview. Got the job. The job led him to the position where he gets to live in the place that he wanted to visit for as long as he wants to now. So we should take breaks. We should unplug, but we should balance it.
When we were planning for this episode,
somebody just threw a phone at me with some info.
I was taken back to my grandmother, who was an educator, and
Pierre. I'm not going to butcher Pierre's last name.
Cope also used to be an educator, and so there's some people who enjoy working in the school systems because more often than not, you get the chance to have your summers off, and you look forward to that. Well, my grandmother and her friends, her teacher friends, what they would do is they would plan exotic trips over the summer. They would go to Europe. They would go to the Pacific, all kinds of fun places. Nonetheless, they would use those trips for relaxation and for fun, but they would also use it for professional development because they were together. They were all teachers. They would talk about what they would use from those trips when they got back in the classroom, and then they would empower their students whenever they were back in school with information that they learned on their trips. So when Cope gives the story of Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre. I don't want to mispronounce Pierre's last name.
With taking time off, especially when you're strategic and intentional about how you use the time that you're away, and you think about how you can leverage what you do during that break to make yourself and your business better.
Yeah. And like, if you like, technically we most of the time we truly don't unplug. Like think about if like you do stuff that you like or you like you're highly interested in. Even when you're on vacation, you take a break. You're still thinking like I go places all like I look at Sharon who we met at the laundry conference. She and her husband are on vacation and she's posting pictures to Facebook and LinkedIn of laundromats. And I want to say she was in St. Thomas or Virgin Islands, something. She was posting pictures of other laundromats while she was like, "Yeah, I know I'm on vacation, but I love going to visit other laundromats when I'm in different places." So she's having fun. She's unplugged to a certain degree, but at the same time, the interest of what you do, what you like, what you love, is part of who you are. So that part of it is not. It's not a chore, right? So you have to take the downtime. I'm not disagreeing that. You need to recharge because when you take that downtime and your mind is not constantly in the frame, as we said last episode, you get to step back and see the picture. You can be like, oh, there's grass. Look, there's a mountain range. Or what's those pictures or the things when you go to the doctor, they show you the ink blots and it's like, what is this, right? And some people, they show you a picture and it's just the sun. And some people will say the sun is setting. Some people say it's a sunrise, right? Because it's
all interpretation.
Right. So when you take that step out of it, like, look, I think it is. So I thought of that. Now look at my business this way. Or here's the idea that I could implement that takes your business to the next level.
So if you are planning to step away from your business for a little while for some rest and relaxation, there are a couple of tips that you can incorporate to prepare your business and your team.
Hey, Google, what are the tips?
For your break. Number one, look at your calendar. You know, summer is a time where people often take time off, but that doesn't mean that it's the only time. You want to find a time in your schedule when you have the least amount of deliverables due, the fewest meetings, or, you know, sometimes you just tell them we're just not going to meet. But make sure you carve out dates and book the time that you need to get away with.
I'm going to kind of disagree with that slightly.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a little contradiction here.
C in COPE is for contradiction.
Yes. Because they'll say, oh, you should take off when it's kind of slow and not busy. And typically that's when everybody else is taking off. You know when I want to take off? When everybody else is not taking off. Follow me here. If everybody else is taking off and I decide to keep working, right? I'm not going to say grinding or hustling. We're not going to use those common terms. I decide to keep pushing. I can get a leg up on other people in my industry. I'm not even going to say competition because we're talking about from the creative mindset and abundance, but I can get an advantage because now they're away and their machine is on autopilot, right? So if we want to use a plane analogy, the pilot's like, yeah, we're going on the same course for the next 3 hours. And he hits the autopilot button and then starts talking to the co-pilot and the flight attendants, et cetera, eating some snacks. Where the next pilot is like, I want to make up some time because we got a headwind. I'm going to keep the autopilot off and I'm going to put my foot on the gas and really be dialed in, looking at the map and the gauges, et cetera, and starts gaining time on their flight plan, right? Making up time or making enough for lost time. But they start to get ahead of what their actual arrival time is because they're dialed in, they're tuned in. So if I decided to be on it while everybody else is on vacation, I can put our business and our team ahead slightly because now everybody else is on autopilot. Their teams are just doing whatever the boss told them to do at a minimum while they were gone.
Well, how about this? I offer you a challenge. If you automate some of your internal processes, you can be away from the office and things still be getting done. So
yes, 100%.
So that kind of puts
you can automate it, but I'm saying those things that are being automated while everybody else is away, could you be there and say, you know what? We're going to come up with this crazy, funky promotion that we're going to run when everybody else is typically having the downtime and they're not doing that.
But that you don't have to be in the office to do that. If you plan properly and you empower
you
your
don't have
team,
to be,
you
but
could do that.
If you
still don't get the message, bro,
I get the message, bro, but you get to add the extra layer on it when you're there.
What, that you micromanaging?
No. How many times do people go in an establishment to an emerging business and they see the owner make a connection and it makes them feel extra special or makes them feel like they have more of a connection to this business that they're spending their money in, right? It's just figuring out these different things, these things to do differently.
You figure out what works for your business. That just sounds like an excuse for me. Number 2, prepare your employees. Now, you don't have to tell them all your business. You don't have to tell them you're going to be in the beach on a little bikini, sipping pina coladas. You don't have to tell them all of that. But you can find someone you trust on your team and let them know that you'll be absent, and you can give them the opportunity to step up and demonstrate leadership. Just make sure they have enough in the trust bank.
There we go with that again.
And make sure that the person that you leave in charge has enough information so that in the event of an emergency, they know what to do. Number 3. Let your clients know in advance.
I ain't telling nobody nothing. My client, unless my client got to interact with me directly. Didn't you say about having systems earlier? Why would I need to know? I learned this from Tim King when I was doing real estate. And a lot of my team members, when we were selling, they would put on those auto responders that I'm out on vacation, all that. And he was like, why do clients need to know you out of the office for a week? He was like, if there's no pressing matter, or you have a small team, or you have an assistant, why can't they answer the phone or do X and take care of that thing? Why do you need to put and announce to the world, oh, I'm currently out of the office on vacation, or I'm currently blah, 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 blah. Now, if you got a position where people need to contact you directly and it's super vital, I can see letting a few people know, listen, I'm going to be out of the office for a week. But if you need something in the interim, you could contact so-and-so, so-and-so, or so-and-so until I get back. But to broadcast it to everybody, nah.
Be selective.
Nah, I'm going to tell my clients, listen, I'm going to be down in Florida at the Laundry Mat Millionaire Conference. So be careful, on the amount of orders you send into the store, because I won't be there. I can't help out with no delivery. No. You said it earlier, a system should run the same whether I'm there or not. And if I'm there, it should run even more, because now that's like putting nitrous oxide in the engine. It's next level.
Well, it depends how engaged you are with your clients and what kind of relationship you have with them. So, for example, I'm preparing to leave for the WeBank National Conference. And so we have some standing client calls. I am going to let the client know in advance, I'm not going to be on the call because I have to go to this conference.
Right. That speaks to the specifics that I was just saying earlier. Okay, right. I'll go for that.
And while I'm at the conference, I anticipate seeing your colleague X, Y, and Z. So that opens up the door for another conversation when I get back about, at the conference, I was talking to your colleague about what we're doing, and this is the feedback that they had. So again, be intentional, be strategic, make it work in your favor. And then lastly, in order to best prepare your business and your team for time out of the office when you need a break, pick an agreed upon time of day and a time limit when you can check in during your trip.
Slack. Just use Slack. Or maybe do a Zoom call. But if you trust them and they trust you and you have systems in place, why do I need to do these check-ins? You could just send me an update in Slack. Hey, guess what? Place didn't burn down. We still in business. Have a good day. I'm good with that. Everything else I can fix. I'm good. All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
I'm going to try to take this dude on a break, on a vacation somewhere.
Bro, we're about to go to Clean Show.
Okay. These are the three
and I'm going to be straight hustling and Clean Show.
Why taking a break from the business will be beneficial when we go to the Clean Show. Number 1, taking care of yourself is taking care of your business, because if you can't produce, your business won't function well. Number 2, distance creates perspective. So, there's something for getting on a bus, getting on a train, driving on the highway, or flying, getting you out of the weeds of the business. That sometimes opens your eyes.
You don't even have to go that far. You can go to the park. You can go to another room in your house, right? You could just remove yourself.
And then while you're away, you can enjoy time with family and friends, doing things that you enjoy. No?
I mean, you can. I think that's a cool thing. I'm just talking about me.
What, you don't like your family?
I like my family. I like my friends too. But I want to talk business because I get excited. I get excited putting them numbers and commas and putting people to work and just seeing things manifest. You know what it feels like to take something from nothing and watching it grow? It's like a plant. When you get a plant and it's like this, and then you water it, you do what's right, and it starts to grow, and you get excited. You're like, wow, look, it's making progress. It's like that with business. I was on the call for like 2 hours today with, I can't say who it is, but
talking about opportunities to grow the business by
and like
marketing approaches.
And it's just so like with different like marketing approaches. You said
you're excited, but at the same time, you're exhausted, dude. Look at your face. You like, I'm going to drive home because this dude's gonna be like,
cause I'm exhausted. Because exhausted because I can't remember what I was gonna say.
You see, that's what happens when you don't get enough.
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Hit the like button if you think this guy needs a vacation. Just a few days of a break.
I don't need a vacation.
So that he can refocus,
you know what I need?
Rest his mind, reboot, rest.
I don't need a vacation. I can't say some of the stuff like this. I can't, whatever. I don't need a vacation. I just need for all the systems and people connected to the systems at all of our different businesses to be in alignment.
Well, we don't want the folks in Commerce and Chill Land to disconnect from the content that we're giving. So we want to say thank you for stopping in and checking in. Hopefully we'll get a vacation because the Clean Show is not a vacation, just FYI.
Well, first of all, the Clean Show, like you go into a trade show where people are just going to be talking about laundry supplies. What you really going to be doing there? Walking around in Atlanta.
If you consider conferences vacation, make sure you
but
build
I'm saying,
in maybe a day on the front end, a day on the back end, building some of, sightseeing, maybe a spa day, fun dinner.
You walk around the convention hall, what you really doing? It's not like we got a booth there. We got to be selling. We just going to check out, do some research, connect with some people. I'm going to be looking at some
feel free to hit us up in the DM.
I'm going to be like a kid at the candy
store.
What
you think a vacation is.
I'm going to be looking at all that technology.
But hit the like button.
I'm going to be delivering laundry with drones when I come back.
And let us know whether or not you think his idea of a vacation is a vacation. In closing, I am Jessica Johnson Coe.
I'm Waleed.
And I'm going to sleep.
Not while you driving, you better not be.